This is part 2 of Was Will Smith Justified in Hitting Chris Rock at the Academy Awards, part 2. So part 1, if you remember, the answer was, as a leader, don't give your answer first, because if you give your answer first, people may disagree, walk away, check out, or agree just because you're the leader. Part 2, I'm going to tell you a different way to answer the question and where it backfired and caused me some problems. So here's a different way to answer. Rather than answer the question directly, yes or no, he should have, he shouldn't have, and here's why. Think about the culture, the bigger issue, what you're trying to create as a leader, and then state the obvious. So, for example, in this case, the obvious could be violence is never acceptable. We're creating a culture of nonviolence. So what that does, that lets people know for future instances and future things to use that as a container for the culture that you're trying to create. Yep, violence is not acceptable. Okay, so that's one way to answer that. Or anything that there's a situation, instead of answering the yes or no for the situation, think about the bigger belief. Violence is never acceptable. It's important to be transparent. It's important to tell people. Then you can dig into the situation. Where it bit me, project management, my love of project organizing, I should say, is I was teaching project management, talking about the pyramids. You know, someone didn't just wake up one day and say, hey, let's build a pyramid. It took decades. And you had to plan, lots of planning. So I use the pyramids as an example that project management existed before there was organizations, forms, and institutions. It's been around. And I was talking about it, and someone in the chat said, yeah, but the slaves built them. And I didn't really acknowledge it. I just said, yes, I believe that could be true. And I just went on. What I should have done, what I just told you to do, and I do now, is step back and state the obvious. Yes, slavery is never accepted. It didn't state the obvious. And because of that, I got in a little bit of trouble, and I had a whole bunch of people check out and not want to pay attention to the rest of the course. So thanks for listening. This is part 2. Create the container, state the obvious, look at the big picture before you dig into the specific thing. Thanks. This is Star.